this video, we are going to be discussing about one of the deepest icebergs I could find. Now this iceberg, while it is deep, was just something I found on an Instagram page. I have no clue who posted this. And today I found it on my screenshot gallery. And I thought, well, I think it's time someone did a deep dive on this iceberg. This iceberg here covers the topics of sleep. Now, I don't really know what sleep is, but from my time on Earth, I remember sleep being something that humans did to recharge themselves, kind of like a battery of sorts. During this process, humans tend to lay down in a place, usually that is something soft, and then they just lay there for a few hours. While discussing these concepts, I will also be trying to draw imagery around the concepts that's going to be discussed in the videos, because I do have a faint imagination of what I remember observing. So I hope you guys enjoy this deep dive into this concept, and let me know if you want to see more icebergs. Welcome to my workspace. This is on the Krita app. Krita app is very cool. I recommend it. So first, we'll be trying to draw the concept of the blanket. Now the blanket was supposed to be some sort of clothing material that the humans would use to cover their bodies with while they sleep. It was around the concept that it would provide the humans some heat to protect them from the cold nights. Now I don't know how much sense that makes, considering a lot of places on the planet are just straight up hot as shit. But you know, I guess even hot places want some extra warmth. I mean, the places get warmer. I don't know. But yeah, as far as I can imagine, I think this is what a blanket looked like. This is supposed to be a human male. Could be a female. Not sure. But this is what I would call a blanket that humans would typically cover themselves with. It is a important tool, I guess. Okay, moving on to the next tool that humans used to use during sleep. It was called a pillow. Now the pillow, if you remember, earlier I was talking about how humans like to sleep on something soft. Now the pillow was something even softer. It was kind of fluffier, but it would only be used on the head. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't have this for the whole body. Maybe the head is important to the humans, but I don't know, that's just speculation on my part. Maybe the head contains something very important to the humans that they need to function, so they create this extra little pillow to cushion up all their head on. And if I vaguely remember, this is what a pillow would look like. You can kind of make out the fluffy part from the rough edges, and I think that's what a human pillow would look like. You can overlay it with my previous drawing, and you see that's where the pillow would be, exactly as I remember it. Great. So this is a pillow, and alright, from now on, I will be increasing the brush size because I feel like the previous drawings were pretty ass. But okay, next up, pajamas. I think that's how it's being spelled. Anyways, I remember pajamas being basically something people just wore. They had they had clothing specifically for, you know, sleep. Sleep. Okay, that's cool. You have clothing specifically for sleep. Now, there is some conflict among the humankind, even over this, where I've also found text that said, oh, pajamas in specific parts also just refers to the pants. I was like, what? Just the pants? But on the overall, humans seem to agree that pajamas are just these night clothings, and their definitive characteristics that separated them from normal clothing was just that they were soft. A lot of softness going around in the concept of sleep as a whole. So humans love, I guess, as soft as you can get, the better sleep you will be having. So I have here made a very cute clothing set with a cookie on it. Maybe the moon. I think that's the on. So this is another soft thing. Again, this concept of softness keeps coming again and again. But this is supposed to be a soft toy thingy that people grabbed onto. Maybe, the hypothesis I made earlier about softness leading to better sleep. It's I think this is the point where you're like, oh, maybe that is the case. So yeah, as far as I can remember, they made these toys specifically around this weird animal. And it was very soft. It was filled with whitish material in the inside, just stuffed with completely white material on the inside, and it was very soft. It usually looked like something like this, and we got this guy, give him a nose. This more or less what he looked like. Mr. Oh, forgot to complete the holder. There we go. Give him some highlights. And yeah, this is usually what the humans during sleep. Teddy, this is what Teddy refers to. A little soft friend that the humans like to have to enhance their sleep. I suppose I would too. I'd love to have this Teddy, honestly. Okay, coming out to the mattress. Now the mattress, well, again, is another concept of softness that's found in sleep. And specifically, this thing, it's supposed to cover your whole body while you sleep. This is where the humans lay, and this is where they sleep, covering their whole body. Now, this is also where I talked earlier about the pillow, about how the pillow covered the head. The pillow would be on top of the mattress. So this is like, again, my concept of the head requiring softness stands, but they also need the softness for their body. And so this is the mattress. This is kind of what it looks like. It's like a big rectangle, and this is the best I can make a mattress as far as I can remember. This right here, this is the human. Male or female, still can't tell. This is supposed to be the pillow, and this is the mattress, big old mattress. Now these things, I would personally also like to have one. This looks very comfy, but again, this also drives home to the fact that how much softness was important in terms of sleep. Moving over to the bed frame. So the bed frame is kind of like an extension of the mattress that we discussed earlier. Typically, a mattress does not exist in a vacuum. So to say, there's like this wooden, usually wooden, I haven't seen any metal bed frames, so to speak. But yeah, usually wooden, and they would cover this like being the mattress, mat for short, just being short from mattress, and this usually be the bed. This is the bed frame. Now you might be wondering, what's the need for this extension of the mattress when the bed, you already get the softness from the mattress, right? Sorry, I meant to say, what's the point of the bed frame if you get the softness from the mattress? Well, I have reasons to believe this bed frame was just a move of pure social status and like a display of power among humans. So this was only for the rich folk. Only rich folk could afford the bed frame, and they would decorate it accordingly. Maybe even amongst the bed frame owners there was a hierarchy. I'm not sure, but that's what I think of the bed frame. I don't think it's completely necessary for sleep at all. Bed frames should not exist in the human society. Hit the like button if you agree. I should also draw the human male here for reference. There we go. That's the human male again. That's human male, maybe female. Alright, moving over to one of the bigger concepts among humans, this is the dreams. Now, dreams are these surreal visual horror films. Well, they were never necessarily horror films. That's kind of foreshadowing of another topic. But they were films that these humans could see while they fell asleep. And here we have like a human. We have this human here. Male. Maybe female. Can't get that part. Anyways, we have this human male covered in a blankie, and he's sleeping, and he has this ability to see this, this visual film that's only available to him, and he sees these weird imageries, and they're all kind of relevant to his life, but they're also at the same time really weird, and nothing in this dream world makes sense, but at the same time it does kind of make sense to them. Now, there have been a lot of weirdos in the human community who compared this concept of dream to their real life, and there is a small group of people that believe that the entire human experience is also a dream, even while they're awake. I have no clue how they drove the dream concept so far. Apparently, there's this weird guy with the glasses, and he analyzes your dreams and finds out the deepest secrets within your mind. Let me try to draw him right here. I can't draw him. Shit. Alarms. Well, alarms are a really simple concept. I don't know why they're so deep in this iceberg, but basically the humans, they would usually have some sort of object or device or a tool ready to wake them up from their sleep. Now, I don't know why they needed this. Maybe because sometimes in the dream world, the humans, they get really sucked into it, and maybe they can never wake up, so they got the alarm thingy to wake them up just in case that ever gets too bad. You're ever in an eternal dream. There you go. They have this alarm tool thingy to wake them up, and this is the imagery that I kind of saw around this device. Is this what the alarm is supposed to look like? They also had weird rectangles again, and this was also supposed to be an alarm. There was also another bigger human being, usually It is their parent, so to speak. Their parent also is an alarm. Uh, this is like, yeah, this is supposed to be a parent figure. The human. Hold up. Human. Male. Female. Okay, next up we have warm milk. A warm simply means something that's hot. Milk is apparently something they fucking drink. It's supposed to be from the uh there's like this animal, they call it a cow. This is kind of what it looks like. Yeah. Wait, hold up. Let me fill up the holes this time. There we go. But this is supposed to be a cow. Uh, it goes kind of like moo, moo. Think that's how it goes. Yeah. But anyways, this is supposed to be a cow. Basically, the milk comes from the cows. This thing, the excretor. So they drink something from the excretion of this animal. It's called the cow. They have horns. Could be demons in disguise, but as far as I know, they're holy beings, apparently. Anyways, they have tails as well. But people, they drink from this. And this is milk and hot milk. How does this fall in sleep? Well, like the blanket, like we discussed earlier, the hot milk, it gives an extra sense of warmth and probably helps the humans sleep more. Sleep better? I don't know. Warmth and softness. I guess these are the two important factors and will help the humans sleep better. Earlier we discussed of a type of alarm. It was like a bigger human and it was their parent. So this parent, during the early stages of their child's development, sometimes if the child, they love their parents a lot, they would want to hear a story from them, and it apparently helps them sleep better. So this is how it falls into sleep again. So that's basically a bedtime story. It's a story that helps you sleep better. I wish I had an example of the story that would tell the children, but I don't. Maybe the stories were just dreams that the parent had, if I had to guess. So these two are human, male, and slash or female. I have no idea, but basically that's a bedtime story. Okay, so the night shift. The night shift refers to these special human beings. They are a unique breed apparently, but basically these guys, they don't sleep the same time that other humans usually would. These guys, they build different. They sleep during the daytime and they perform this task called the night shift, and that's literally why they have to be ready and they sleep at day instead. And that's all I can tell you about the night shift. The details are pretty vague. I have no idea why they would do such a thing. Maybe some services amongst the human circuit, they have to be done no matter what, so they created the night shift specimen. If they can modify themselves like other civilizations can. Counting sheep and staying up. So I'll be including these two in the same section, but basically there are a bunch of human beings who are having trouble sleeping, And so this act is called staying up, in which they proceed to do a bunch of activities, usually using their alarms as some sort of spiritual device through which they can elevate their consciousness to a modified level. Yeah, I have no clue how they do that, but that's something they do. And this act usually is called staying up, and it's usually paired by something that's not mentioned in the iceberg called doom scrolling. It is a new concept, and I think it deserves a new video on its own. But a counter to staying up is usually counting sheeps. This is a technique that's popular among some humans because they are having a farm and they can go outside. They look outside their window here. This is a window, and they would have these animals. There's a called sheep, and this is kind of what they look like. They have this small soft body. Again, the concept of soft, but it's also warm, so it makes sense why they picked this animal of all things for counting when it's sleep related. And basically the sheep gives them a special spell to help them sleep when they're being counted. So maybe when they're counted they feel appreciated, and in turn they give them better sleeping qualities. That is my current hypothesis. Also, these sheep, they're pretty smart beings. They can also be detectives, I've heard. But yeah, that's about it. Jigglypuff. Okay, now this is supposed to be some sort of a rare hypothetical animal that the humans have theorized about. And this is, I'm just going to show you what it kind of supposed to look like. It has this big ponytail sort of thingy, just like having big ears. But you might be wondering, how is this related to the human sleep if it's supposed to be a fictional hypothetical creature? But basically this animal, he is capable of mass destruction via putting every human in his vicinity to sleep. Oh, that's crazy, right? Basically a horror story. And I'm surprised it's not down below in the lower levels of the iceberg. I mean, it's pretty low, but it's not low enough. But this is kind of what the beast looks like, and I can only hope that humankind doesn't have to deal with this creature yet, and hopefully it's something that's just a theory. But look at this guy. He does look hella cute though. Kinda. I mean, I could only draw him kinda improperly. I don't think he looks like that. Maybe he's a bit scarier in real life. But yeah, that's a Jigglypuff. And it's supposed to end humanity by putting everyone to sleep. Okay, with that, we have covered almost the entire iceberg. Now, I know there's the nightmares section left, but as you can see, it says do not research, so I literally cannot tell you what nightmares are exactly, but I did drop one hint, so hopefully my government doesn't kill me for that. But I hope you enjoyed the iceberg deep dive into the concept of sleep. Hopefully, this was informational, and yeah, subscribe and like for more. Well, definitely not this because I usually play games.